This is the We Get Outdoors 6 in 16 interview series, where we introduce you to some of the world's leading outdoor and adventure gear brands, and more importantly, the brains behind them. Now, this is your chance to get a real behind the scenes look into what's happening currently and in the future for outdoor brands that you love. And today we have a brand that you love. This is a brand that has an incredible story from where it came from. And for me, this brand is so unique in that it looked at a challenge through a completely different lens. It didn't do what everybody else did, which is trying to continue to solve a problem that everyone else is solving. They looked at it in a slightly different way and came up with an incredible concept that has fundamentally changed the lives of countless, hundreds, thousands of people around the world. So 6 in 16 questions. Andrea, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Geesh. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yes.
Andrea, who are you and why should we care?
My name is Andrea Sreshta. I'm one of the co-founders of LuminAid and also co-inventors of inflatable solar lighting technologies. So my partner Anna and I invented inflatable solar lighting after the in Haiti in 2010. We were design students, and like many people, were just sort of asking ourselves the question: is there something we could design in these situations where you had so many people struggling and left without lighting and power? Is there something that we could design that would be an easy deployable solution in those instances? So our big idea was to make portable solar lanterns that packed flat so that you could pack and ship them in large numbers. They're also waterproof and can float. And as it happens, even though we had designed it originally for relief aid, it wasn't too much longer after people realized that it was an ideal solution for portable, rechargeable, eco-friendly lighting on the go when you're camping or hiking or anywhere outdoors.
I know, it's just the diversity of it, I think, it's just so powerful and so cool. And like I said, I love the story that other people were talking about in Haiti, water. You went straight to leveraging on solar and come up with something which is light is critical for doing anything in the world, like, and obviously in those kind of situations, crime. So what should listeners know about LuminAid?
I think one thing, if you're a lover of the outdoors, to know about LuminAid and our products is that basically they could be of use to you both when you are kind of planning a trip that is recreational or, sort of choose your own adventure, wherever it is you might be going, camping or hiking, like I said. But then on the other hand, increasingly, a lot of our customers are living in places or parts of the world where the electricity grid might fail for some reason, even some weather event in your area. And it could be handy to even have LuminAid product and solar lighting in your own home in those times as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think we were talking earlier about some of the challenges that we face in South Africa with load shedding and having people are going towards generators and all that kind of stuff, which obviously isn't very eco-friendly. And you've come up with a really cool solution that is eco-friendly.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of the reasons we started our brand and our company, is because we just felt that portable solar lighting could be a solution for many people in many places. And the fact that, it's useful even both for people who need them and for people who want them. Sometimes that's the same person, depending on the moment in time. It's very satisfying for us.
No, I can imagine. So what's the thing that really sets LuminAid apart from your competitors?
I think we work very hard to put out a quality product, I think. And also, I mean, given we're the original innovators of portable lighting that packs flat, we've also iterated upon our core technology to expand upon, features and different shapes and sizes and colors and over time. And so, I mean, I think just having that like original innovation DNA has also a company that's very kind of continuing to innovate and produce really high quality product for the situations for which it's designed.
Yeah, it's cool. We'll put the link to your website, obviously, in the description, but I had a look at, and your website's very dangerous. I've got one complaint about your website.
Oh,
Your website basically is not a good friend with my credit card because it makes you want to spend lots of
oh.
money.
Well, I can't take full credit for that as I've got a very strong team behind me that does a lot of that work. Um, but like I said, we're happy to provide product to people who find it useful. So um, sort of what we try to do.
Very cool. So what's the big secret thing that you are currently working on that your customers are absolutely going to love?
Well, it's not exactly a secret because it is kind of out on the market, but it's been a big deal at LuminAid just because I mentioned we sort of have iterated on the core technology. So the original versions of all our lanterns, you use they have a valve and you blow them up. And when you inflate them, the inflation part becomes the diffuser of the lantern, and that's the part that's waterproof. And we still have, many of those products on the market, but more recently we've introduced something that has kind of a different spin on the technology. So this product is called the Backlight Titan 2-in-1. And I should say too, over time, we've added to a lot of our lanterns, we've added phone charging capability. So they're both lanterns and they charge phones, which is quite unique to have kind of all in one package. So the way that this one works is there's a strap that you can use to clip it on your bag as you're charging it on the go, or like hang it, on a branch or a tent. But these units have the sort of self-inflating valve, so you can just pull it, and basically then I'll turn on the light. So it sort of still provides kind of the diffuser effect, still packs flat. And then this also has sort of an additional like set of panels laminated into the side for some extra structure. And then this is the port for USB charging or charging your phone. And then of course the solar panel there on the top. It's just kind of a different take on the same idea of things that pack flat. But I mean, we're really excited about this sort of new valve feature, just because some people may prefer to not blow it up or kind of thing. So we're now into the self-inflating this generations of our products. So it's relatively new. So it's been kind of a big deal for us to launch this one.
Very, very cool. And the lazy inflator now.
Yeah, it's easy on people.
Yeah, it's like all those dads now are going, oh, that takes me back to the birthday party when you've got to blow up 100 balloons. Now, or imagine if they invented a balloon that self-inflates. Every single dad would be smiling at birthday parties now.
Yeah, it's true. You'd save a lot of lung capacity.
Exactly. That's such a cool innovation. And just by looking at it, you can see how easy it is to use. How, like I said, putting on your backpack when you're hiking and getting it charging. Just so many uses, and it's tiny and probably weighs. How much does it weigh? It weighs a feather, probably.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to translate this for you in kilograms, unfortunately, but it weighs it weighs 14 ounces, so just under a pound. It is actually, so this one has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, so this category of product does weigh quite a bit more. If people are interested in lighter weight options, we have a whole range of that as well. Both those lanterns that charge phones, and even just lantern only products that are a bit smaller and lighter weight. And the Backlight Titan as well, I should have mentioned, it has a red light feature as well, which is something that a lot of our outdoor expert customers had requested over time, because I guess when you're in a dark tent and maybe you need to read a map or just have some night vision, the red light, I guess, is an easier way to read, but it's a little softer on the eyes. So.
Very, very cool. So, Andrea, what do you believe is the future of the outdoors and the outdoor industry?
One of the coolest things about having been a brand in the outdoor industry, the last 8 years, is that it's always thinking about the future, to be honest. And so I think many of the current considerations that, are on topics of much discussion these days, like climate change, and preservation of the outdoors, conservation, those types of themes, I think have always been championed by, really progressive outdoor brands, both big and small. And so it's been, I think, really nice for LuminAid as an eco-friendly brand to kind of slot ourselves into that mix, and feel like, our mission is really supported both by the industry and then also, all of these amazing customers that we've had, who believe in our mission, who believe in, bettering the world, I guess. So it's always, I think, a little bit already thinking ahead than most of the rest of the world in terms of the activity.
Very, very cool. So you've survived the last question. And with any last question, we always hold back. So now we've got the one which most of our guests cry, to be honest. It's this hard. It's such a painful question that it draws tears out their eyes. There's no fear. You've got zero fear, haven't you? Literally, like, bring it on. Bring it on.
Throw it at me. I can't promise I'll cry, but if I do, then I do.
No, I'm joking. So you talked obviously about eco-friendly, and you talked about conservation and stuff, but there's obviously with what we're going through in terms of the pandemic, there's lots more people getting into the outdoors, which is a good thing on one way, but obviously needs to be managed as well. So what is your message to all the people that get out in the outdoors?
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, with the pandemic, it's one thing we have seen, but it makes sense. It's just when you have nowhere else to go, but the outdoors is safe, of course, many, many more people are going to be heading outdoors, myself included. It's been a really nice time for me to sort of remember how nice that is, actually, to reconnect and kind of take time to enjoy the outdoors. But I also think that we also have to all remember to tread as lightly as possible. So even anything we can think about in terms of buying things that are reusable or rechargeable, or using hand-me-downs or handing your stuff down in a sort of gear-intensive environment, I think is something to keep in mind, and something that I now am much more mindful than I was, even a year ago.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool having that pass that down, that gear down. I think it's a cool way as well, because again, one thing that we're always focusing on is how to bring more people into the outdoors, but especially bring the young into the outdoors. If I remember what I was doing when I was growing up, and obviously what kids are doing nowadays, there's a competition called a screen, which is distracting them from the outdoors a little bit. So the hand-me-downs is a good way to get them going. So I would encourage all of you to go and check Andrea and LuminAid by visiting their social media and their website, and I'll put all the details in the description below. So check out below and go and follow and look at this incredible company who started out in a disaster, and came up with something that is revolutionizing not only the outdoor industry, but the world at large. So Andrea, thank you so much for your time today, and may 2021 be an especially successful year for LuminAid and yourself. And thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.